If you haven't heard about the Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. The Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning, everybody. I am back on a special bonus episode of Gotta Have Heart Wrestling by yours truly, Jamal Honus. And I'm excited about this one, this bonus episode. This is my first WrestleMania bonus episode. And the WrestleMania I just watched was probably what Jared had described to be the most electrifying WrestleMania of all time. That's right. I'm going to talk about WWE's WrestleMania 2000, or simply known as WrestleMania 16, the 16th annual WrestleMania. And how exciting was WrestleMania? This is pretty cool. They kick off the new millennium. This WrestleMania part of the new millennium here, and let's just say it's you saw it all at WrestleMania. You literally saw it all. And for those of you who don't know, that this WrestleMania would actually feature, well, be the first WrestleMania to feature no singles matches or any one-on-one matches, regular one-on-one. Most matches either multi-man, tag teams, triple threat, or the dreaded fatal four-way elimination match that took place in the main event for the World Wrestling Championship between Big Show, The Rock, Mick Foley, which is Mick Foley's last night, and Triple H. And for those of you that know that VFC Nowhere 2000, that took place on February 27, 2000, you saw that Triple H beat Mick Foley inside Hell in a Cell to end his career as per stipulation to retire. But most people don't know that on the Monday Night Raw 2 weeks, I think before WrestleMania 2 weeks ago, was that Linda McMahon did the right thing by bringing back Mick Foley for one more night to relive his dream to compete in maybe WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Because, The Rock had to win the Rumble. Triple H had retained the championship the past couple months against Mick Foley. And make sure that beating The Rock at No Way Out thanks to return Shane McMahon to even be part of the main WrestleMania here. So it's pretty crazy how this happened. And while you have that, you had the whole, McMahon family rivalry or family feud, or if you want to call it. It's been crazy how Shane attacked Vince, Vince attacked Shane, Stephanie slaps her mother Linda on SmackDown. Linda makes the announcement by turning WrestleMania to a fatal four-way main event, including Mick Foley. It's been really deranged how this whole McMahon family saga had came to be, you know? Yeah, but this is gonna be a WrestleMania that you would not want to miss. WrestleMania took place in Anaheim, California at the Arrowhead Pond with the attendance record of 19,776 fans and with a tagline, a McMahon in every corner. This would really be a bona fide WrestleMania here. First up, we'll kick off with this tag team matchup here. And before we get to that, what a performance by Ice-T. This is pretty insane here. You got the Godfather, D'Lo Brown making the entrance to the ring, and you have Ice-T perform this song at the WrestleMania event here to kick off the event. And then, Ice-T performing the song Pippin Ain't Easy, but you can find it on the WWF Progression CD. I guess they still sell it on Amazon and eBay. I know CD did come out 21 years ago, but it's a pretty badass CD. If you listen to the DX song too by Run DMC, you gotta admit the collaboration with the hip hop artists at the time is pretty damn surreal. It's actually a pretty good CD. I enjoyed it. So, but I see to come out and perform Godfather and D'Lo Brown's ring. This is pretty cool. This is really badass. Of course, the Godfather has his O's. The next you see Big Boss and Bull Buchanan come out here. It's pretty crazy how this whole tag team with the Boss Man and Bull Buchanan came out. This is how Bull Buchanan got to start in WWE by aligning himself with Big Boss Man, who was a veteran at the time. This is probably Big Boss Man, fifth WrestleMania, sixth WrestleMania at this point. So, nonetheless, here it's pretty much surreal here. Big Boss Man Bull Buchanan will win with the Sidewalk Slam, pinning the Godfather here, and seemingly chasing off the host. This match will last 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Not too bad of a matchup, but I'd probably give two star and a half. It wasn't too bad to kick off, WrestleMania here. So yeah, pretty crazy. Up next, we got the Hardcore Battle Royal for WWE Hardcore Championship. It's pretty crazy. It's people would describe Crash Holly, the late great Crash Holly, who passed away in '03, but the late great Crash Holly was really the Houdini of hardcore. He was probably if I gotta say this, my people might take offense to this, but he probably was the greatest hardcore champion of all time. I mean, he really just escaped everything to amusement parks, to airplanes, to airports, bus rides. Somebody tried to pin him while he was sleeping. It's pretty crazy how Crash Hollywood dodged all these predators. But so he made it last night in a row, making a 15 minute hardcore battle royal for the hardcore championship. Whoever is champion within the 15 minutes is the official hardcore champion. Pretty fair to give all these guys a shot here, so it's pretty crazy. Because you would have the likes of the Acolytes, the Mean Street Posse, which is three men, Kaientai, Takashi Funaki, Vincera, let's see, his cousin Hardcore Holly. You have Taz in here. You have the Headbangers, both Marsh and Thrasher. And yeah, that's just about it. But it's pretty surreal here. Have all these guys competing in the Hardcore Battle Royal. And we saw Vincera, first, becoming champ. Well, actually, no, Taz was first to become champion in 26 seconds by pinning Crash Holly after a suplex. Then Vincera comes in and pins Taz after 1 minute of him holding the championship with a power slam to outside of the ring. 1, 2, 3. I think Vincera held the championship for about like 4 or 5 minutes, so probably the longest champion in the matchup here. And then, luckily, thanks to Acolytes, for Funaki pins Vincera here for Hardcore Championship. Then Taka's chasing to the back. We have Rodney, then Joey Owls, then Thrasher, then Pig Gaff, then Taz again. Taz is the only two-time winner in this 2 minutes matchup here. After all that, I got Crash Holly pinning Taz, and we have about, maybe 10 seconds left. Or maybe not 10 seconds, but like 40 seconds left here. For Alka Holly smashes Crash Holly in the head with, I think, JR's candy jar, you know, and pinning it 1, 2, which looked like a three. This is controversy comes into play here because if you see the end of that 15 seconds, well, before the referee's hand hits for the 3 count for Alka Holly, I believe Crash's hand did come out there for the 3 count. Technically, Crash should have retained the Hardcore Championship, but referee awarded decision to Hardcore Holly. And for second year in a row, WrestleMania, Hardcore Holly walks out the Hardcore Champion. Mind you, he walked out of WrestleMania 15 Hardcore Champion, now WrestleMania 2000 here. So it's safe to say that, he was on a roll at this time, on a really, really big roll. So, yeah, pretty star-studded here for Hardcore Holly when it comes to WrestleMania. Always shines brightest. You go to backstage here, and we see, Trish Stratus getting testing Albert prepped to run tag team matches, saying that it's time to WrestleMania some TNA. Mind you, this would be Trish Stratus' first WrestleMania here, and managing the tag team TNA testing Albert. How amazing did she look here at this event? She debuted prior to Sunday Night Heat a month ago in March, so for her to have these two big giants and two big guys here, and it's pretty crazy. Then you go to backstage and we see Austin C. Blackman talking with Chester McCheeserton. I don't know, the head cheese. I didn't know much about this gimmick going on here or whatever the hell was happening. A cheese head. With ass checks hanging out of him, but assless chaps, I guess, yeah. I know. Pretty weird duo. Strange bedfellows, I guess. But we'll see. Albert Test coming out here first, and then we have Al Snow and Steve Blackman coming out next. And TNA would win of the Test dropping the elbow top rope on the Steve Blackman, pinning 1, 2, 3 in 7 minutes and 3 seconds here. And unfortunately, the head cheese gimmick didn't work as Arsenal and Steve Blackman beat down Chester McCheeserton. Pretty weird. I know. I really did not know what WWE was going with this whole head cheese thingy. It's bad enough you got Austin walking around the head, which he didn't even have the head coming to this event, surprisingly. But you got this freaking cheese head. Thank God to beat him down. Thank God we didn't see the McCheesyton after that. So yeah, thank God. We go backstage and I guess we see Mae Young talking to the cat, and uh, let's just say Cat was naked. She was naked. Of course, they won't show any boobs or I didn't know anatomy, the cat here, but it was safe to say that she was really getting prepped and ready for her cat fight with Terry Reynolds later on in the evening. Because, Fabulous Moolah will be in Terry's corner, of course, Mae Young being in the cat's corner. So this will be a really extreme cat fight here. Next up, we probably got the most talked about match that nobody will ever forget to happen in WrestleMania 2000, the Triangle Ladder match for the WWF Tag Team Champion. And this is the reason why I say this is my favorite match, because this match, you saw it all here. This match, you really saw it all. Mind you, this is Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and Hardy Boys WrestleMania debuts here for all six of these guys. So it's amazing to see, like, you know, how well these six guys will put on in this amazing Triangle Ladder match here and try to become the tag team champions here. First, we got Edge and Christian, and then the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys here. And if you see most of the matchup here, you see, Jeff Hardy running up his brother's back and get knocked in the ladder by Bubba Ray Dudley here. And you see, you know, Jeff Hardy laying down a ladder with Bubba Ray on top of it, going to the top rope and trying to do a 450 splash and crashes and burns right through that ladder. Oh, it's one of those painful spots here that you don't want to probably revisit, but it's pretty surreal here. Wow, man, you see a double suplex to Magic to Devon off the top of the ladder here. And let's see what else happened. You got two tables. The other boys bring two tables. One set up in the ring. One actually used as a scaffold to put on top of two ladders, aligning the two ladders together with a table on top of it. That's pretty insane here. You have a table set up outside the ring here. You think if Devon misses a splash on the Christian, crashes and burns through the table, and Buck Ray powerbombs Matt Hardy from the Smash House table all the way through the table right in front of it. This is pretty surreal. You have a lot of tables and a lot of crashes here, and probably the most memorable move of the match. Is you have Bubba Ray sitting on the 20-foot ladder outside in the entranceway, and somehow gets knocked out by Christian Jeff Hardy, pinned on the table that's been set up right in front of it in that same entranceway. Jeff Hardy climbing to the tippy top of that ladder and Swan Tom's Bubba Ray Dudley right in the entranceway, right through that table. This is pretty insane. I don't know how in the hell Jeff Hardy and Bubba Ray Dudley survived that right there. Oh man, one of the closing moments here. You see Edge and Christian climb up one side here, Matt Hardy in the middle, and Edge just grabs Matt Hardy by his pants and flips him all the way down off that scaffold, whatever you want to call it, and right like just crashes right through a table below them. And Edge and Christian getting the tag team championship belts for the first time here and proclaiming themselves tag team champions. This is pretty insane. It really was. This was probably the best match of the year, best match of the night, WrestleMania 2000. Like these guys really put on a show here. This match will last 22 minutes and 30 seconds, and I really have to say this is really the best match of the night. It really is. You take six of these guys who are making their WrestleMania debuts, especially for a guy like Edge. If you don't notice, Edge was a 12-year-old boy who started his career sitting in the audience of WrestleMania 6 10 years ago prior to WrestleMania 16, or WrestleMania 2000, as we call it, and watching the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior main event for the double championship belts in the main event, and to live his dream 10 years later, actually competing in WrestleMania in one of the most dangerous matches there is, a ladder match, and winning too. This is really surreal. It's amazing here. It's really the Adam Copeland story, better known as Edge, and I think it's amazing. Edge Christian bad guys, of course, but who better than Edge Christian win that match up there and proclaim themselves as one of the greatest tag team and really, usher in this era that we use table and chairs this very day, and even adopt his own pay per view event. Like it's surreal. It really is. Like, and I enjoyed this match from start to finish. I could rewatch this match over and over again as a fan and still be in awe and shock of what happened. It's crazy. I love the Triangle match in 2000 will always be one of the favorite matches ever I've witnessed my entire life. Amazing. Great job by these six guys. Amazing. Just simply amazing. It really is. Ah, we go back here, try to reel from this here, and we go to the WrestleMania Cap fight, which Val Venus was special guest referee this matchup between Terry Reynolds, who was accompanied by Fabulous Moolah, and the Cat, who was accompanied by Mae Young here. don't know how in the heck the Mae Young and Fast Miller get opposite sides to represent their ladies in this matchup here, or what even happens to split up their friendship. But yeah, pretty weird here. I'm guessing that's how it started with both women being factioned by Val Venus and, of course, getting caught in that stupid GTV they used to have back in the Attitude Era. And yeah, I guess this is how this whole thing came about, So, and as kind of weird as this match was, the rules was the first woman to throw the other woman outside of the ring was the matchup. So, I guess no pinfalls. Submissions matchup. So, all right, we get up here to this matchup here, takedown by Terry Reynolds and the Cat, and both women as men in making up Valvines right during the match happens here. We even saw the Mae Young pull out Terry Reynolds here and tries to get victory, but Mae distracts Val Venus with the kiss too, and that's probably I don't know the best kiss Val Venus has received throughout the whole night between all these ladies here. And then she Rasmula pull out the cat here, and Terry Reynolds wins. You know, wins the matchup here in 2 minutes 26 seconds. Oh man, this is probably one of the funniest things we've seen after the matchup here. As old as Mae Young is, if you thought what happened at the Royal Rumble, her flashing New York City with her dangled puppies, dangled puppies, and you thought that was strange, or her getting powerbombed by Dudley Boys off the stage in January 2000 through tables. Her doing probably what Jim Ross had described on commentary, the oldest Bronco Buster in history, to the fans movie. This is pretty funny. This is where the comedy comes to play. I can laugh at this to see a 87-year-old Mae Young doing the Bronco Buster to her friend, the Proud Moolah here, who is also the one of the longest women's champion ever in wrestling history. This is pretty funny, really funny. And then her and the cat stripping Terry Reynolds down into her birthday suit, I guess. But yeah, it's just pretty. It's pretty funny. It's pretty surreal what happens after. So I actually enjoyed every aspect of what happens afterwards with this. Oh man, this is so surreal. All right, where was that? We got backstage promo here with Mick Foley describing him to see, him being his last match here and wanting to win the championship here. This is so surreal. I was actually when I was watching this event 21 years ago, I was actually rooting for Mick Foley to win this matchup here. Because Mick Foley's last match, he brought back one and only. What amazing way to end WrestleMania with Mick Foley just holding up championship and living his dream. This has been pretty amazing. All right, next up, we got the intergender six-person tag team matchup here with the Radicals, Demon Legal, Perry Saturn, and Eddie Guerrero, who are also making WrestleMania debuts here against China and Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexy and Sky Hardy. China pretty good in this matchup here. The one thing that you do see in this matchup here, she did have a wardrobe malfunction at the side where her pants kind of tore up, exposing her, I guess, thong and a little bit of her butt, a little bit in this matchup here too. But she still wrestled, continuing with the match regardless here. You would see amazing, moments matchup here where Scott Toddy does the worm to both Malenko and Saturn here. And I guess Eddie Guerrero is trying to show some Latino heat to China. Latino heat. I really, really miss when Jerry Lawler said Latino heat. Every time. I don't know what's going to miss that. Yeah. God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero, man. But yeah, even China doing a double backflip into the corners of both Saturn and Malenko. And then behind referee's back, a typical China maneuver with the double low blows there. And power slamming and then power bombing Eddie Guerrero had to get the wins for her team. And, for her to come on and dance a little bit was too cool. So it's a pretty cool way to, end that matchup there. Like I said, even though probably the most future of the business at the time, Saturn Malenko and Guerrero, it's really amazing to see how well these three guys did, especially against a team like Too Cool in China, who's is kind of veteran at the time here. So it's like you're looking at the future of WWE with this six-person tag team matchup here. No, not many people give the Radicals enough credit, but when Radicals came to WWE, they were huge in WCW. So for them to come in WWE, like a couple months prior before the WrestleMania event happened, it was like right after Royal Rumble 2000, I believe. And you just automatically notice like these guys are really genuine future, especially Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit here. So it's pretty amazing to see like how all these guys would fit into their future plans here and get as big as they did within the next few years in WWE. It's really amazing. It really is. we go backstage to a Big Show promo here. Big Show explaining how he's going to win the WWE Championship in the main event here. It's pretty amazing. Triple H guys stacked this against the guy's car stacked against these three guys with his championship on the line here. All right, next up, we got it's also another for us a triple threat two-fall matchup for Kurt Angle's both of Kurt Angle's championship belts, the European Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. With the first fall being for the IC title and the second fall being for the European Championship here. And this is amazing. This is a star-studded quality match. You got Chris Jericho make WrestleMania debut. Chris Benoit makes WrestleMania debut, and the Kurt Angle, the undefeated Kurt Angle, makes WrestleMania debut here too. If you go back to knowing the last matchup, you will see three of the what would be now known as three of the greatest superstars, future greatest superstars that would be in WWE's history or wrestling history altogether. This is really amazing here. Yeah, Chris Jericho coming out first, proclaiming that WrestleMania is Jericho, and actually like that's for WrestleMania is Jericho. Next up, we got Chris Benoit make his matchup here, and then Kurt Angle come out with both the belts. Actually, right before this match even happened, if you go back and see how this whole match came about, it was actually WWE legend Hall of Famer Bob Backlund who would get in the ears of the official for Kurt Angle to put both his belts on the line. Mind you, this was always just supposed to be the Intercontinental on the line. Bob Backlund said if Kurt Angle really wants to prove how great of a champion is, put both belts on the line against two of the most technical wrestlers ever, Benoit and Jericho. And that's what he did. That's strangely what he did. So, first of all, actually, Chris Benoit won the first fall here without even pinning Kurt Angle. He pinned Chris Jericho out the flying headbutt to win the Intercontinental Championship here. Now at the second fall here, Jericho does the lion salt and pins Benoit for the European Championship. The controversy is that Kurt Angle lost both championships without even being pinned or submitted. Benoit and Jericho pinned each other for both those belts. It's pretty amazing. So Benoit walks out WrestleMania with the IC title. Jericho walks out with the European title. This is pretty surreal here. I can see why Kurt Angle's irate. Losing both belts without even being involved in the decision. This is pretty surreal here. So I kind of get why Kurt Angle's frustrated, but you got to send the rules of the matchup here. And with the matchup, if you're the champion, you can lose the championship without even being involved in the decision. That's the rules. Kurt has to live with that. Kurt's first WrestleMania wasn't a success here. But keep in mind, Kurt's still undefeated, because he's never been submitted. So let's let us marinate in that a little bit. Kurt Angle was never pinned for both championships. So technically he never lost. If you think about it in that perspective. But yeah, let's move on here. Next up, we got another tag team matchup with the team of Kane and Rikishi. Now, this whole thing started out with, Kane's rivalry with DX, specifically with S-Pac and Tori, who Tori is a former girlfriend of Kane from earlier, late 99, early 2000. Turned on Kane, aligned up with S-Pac and Road Dogg D-Generation X here. And we saw the resurgence of Paul Bearer a few weeks ago on that Raw here. Paul Bearer returned to Kane as his father, in his storyline here. So Kane getting Rikishi here to take out the business of DX here. And we see DX debut, well, not debut the song, but have this song by Run DMC coming out here. So it's pretty cool. Again, another badass song. You really got to get the Dead of Progression CD. It's probably on Amazon, eBay, whatever online realtors out there that you can get. It's really badass too. And Kane and Rikishi getting the win here in 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So another pretty badass matchup here. So and we're thinking that Pete Dunne, who would have been tombstone by Kane the past two previous WrestleManias, come out here in the Chisendo Chicken. We see two closest come out here to celebrate. Of course, then Rikishi and San Diego Chicken mascot is dancing. Kane is not amused whatsoever. He, after dance is over, tries to corner the chicken. We see Pete Rose, amazing MLB Hall of Famer, come out here, tries to hit Kane with a baseball bat. Rikishi stops him, gets choked in by Kane, and then gets probably the most disgusting thing that's happened that night, gets his stink face. So, not a good night for Pete Rose, but also for 30 in a row getting handled by Big Red Monster, Big Red Machine. So, yeah, sorry, Pete. Better luck next year. Evidently, this will be his last time going against Kane. I think he learned his lesson after 3 years, but 3 long years going from Boston to Philadelphia to Anaheim. So, yeah, at least Pete finally learned his lesson here. So, yeah, Pete's around. Up next, we got the main event here. It got a fatal four-way matchup, elimination style for the WWE Championship. Oh man, let's look at this history again. I mean, think about it. After everything that happened, we had Triple H defeat Mick Foley, well, Cactus Jack in that amazing street fight match from the War in 2000, probably one of the greatest WWE Championship matches of all time. And then you see The Rock and the Warner by last name the Big Show. People did not see the controversy here. When The Rock speak, they showed that video package so many times by the Big Show on the next 9 minute Raw. It was actually The Rock speak that hit the ground first. Technically, after watching footage, I should have said Big Show should have won that Royal Rumble in MSG and January at the event. But, the official's still going to say The Rock has won the Rumble. He's on WrestleMania. Big deal. So, Big Show evidently gets a match against The Rock with the WrestleMania title shot on the line at No Way Out in February 2000. Wow, on the other hand, you see Triple H get shot by Mick Foley, captures Jack one more time, but this time Hell in a Cell will commence. At No Way pay event, we see The Rock on his way to beating the Big Show with the People's Elbow, but Shane Man comes in the steel chair and returns Shane Man, who we haven't seen since I think November of '99. So he comes back, hits Rock with steel chair, helps the Big Show win, and it seems like now the Big Show's going to WrestleMania, and The Rock is out of the match. On the other side, you got Triple H defeating Mick Foley inside a Hell in a Cell match by flipping Foley from the top of that steel structure right through the cell, right through the ring, come back in the ring and pedigree Captain Jack and retiring him for good. This is pretty crazy. It really is. Like, it seems now the WrestleMania event was going to be Triple H versus Big Show for the championship. Then he called the next time on Raw. The Rock got back in by winning the matchup here, making it a triple threat matchup for the title. And I think it was the March 20th episode of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, March 20th. That we see McMahon put the WrestleMania main event on Monday Night Raw for championship between The Rock, Triple H, and the Big Show. Triple H would evidently retain Linda McMahon, making her return to the ring here and proclaiming that WrestleMania event will now be a Fatal 4 matchup. Adding to the match, Mick Foley makes a return and feels like he deserves to get that one more shot, even just one night only, to become the champion here. And I think it was the right thing to do. Evidently, the next SmackDown that followed, Stephanie McCall, mother out to ring and, top trash order and slaps her down. This is probably one of the most emotional things I've seen, between the McMahon family slapping them down. We go to next week on Raw here with all four men confronting each other here with Linda and Vince standing in the ring and Stephanie coming out on that way and saying that she should have slapped Dad and 10 times harder. Of course, we see Shane Man coming out here, attacks his father, and tries to have Stephanie down her mother. Here, thank God McCoy comes out and saves the day. And it's pretty surreal here. It is. Go to SmackDown, and then we see that the only way to punish her daughter, in Vince's words, was to put her in a match. Her first ever match, mind you, against the WWF champion Jacqueline for the championship. This is pretty surreal. But we saw that moment when Elizabeth Man came on the stage and told her husband, Mr. Man, to make things right and fix it. Whatever that means, we'll find out that at WrestleMania by the end of the night. But on SmackDown, 3 4 Mania, we see with the help of DX, with the help of Tori, Stephanie Man wins the matchup and is now the new women's champion. Which now her and husband Triple H will be going to WrestleMania as the first couples duo with dual championship belts. This is pretty surreal. It's surreal as it gets here. Like wow. All right, next up we go to WrestleMania here main event. We see Mick Foley coming out with Linda McMahon first, Big Show coming out Shane Man second, The Rock coming out with Vince McMahon fourth, and the last but not least Triple H, the WWE champion, come out with the new women's champion, his wife Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. And it's a great start to the matchup here. We see the Big Show eliminated first by the Rock Bottom with the share shot thanks to Mick Foley here. Secondly, we see Mick Foley get eliminated in his last match, Triple H with the Barber baseball bat to the head and the pedigree on a steel chair. It's pretty surreal, but Mick Foley did not go lying down here. He came out to the ring and bashed Triple H over the head with that same barbed wire 2x4. And then when it comes down to Rock and Triple H battling all over the arena, we see The Rock suplex Triple H through the English announce table here, get back in the ring. We see Shane coming out here and bash his father in the face with the television monitor. we see this man come back and get hold of Shane here. Stephanie Sturman, so she's witnessing what's happening here. We think The Rock's gonna win the championship with the people's elbow, but no. Mr. Man comes in and hits The Rock. He turns on The Rock, hits him with the chair twice, giving Triple H the victory, and Triple H retains the championship in the main event here. This seemed like a pretty screw job here. And this match will be 36 minutes and 24 seconds. I think when Vince McMahon was told to make things right, in his own twisted mind, I think he believes in that aspect of making things right by still keeping the champion Triple H and at least getting his son and daughter back together as a family. Like, wow, this is it's pretty surreal. It really is. The Rock would have the last laugh here by rock bottom Mr. McMahon, rock bottom Shane McMahon, and even rock bottom Stephanie McMahon with the People's Elbow to end the Hollywood edition of WrestleMania in Anaheim. Wow. Can we say this has to be one of the most greatest electrifying WrestleManias of all time? I gotta agree here. This is pretty damn surreal. I mean, wow. We really saw it all here. We saw a new Comp champion, the tag team champions, new European champion. Like, this is pretty crazy. You know, a new hardcore champion. Like, where WrestleMania? This has to be one of my favorite WrestleMania. Evidently called WrestleMania 16 or 2000. You know, I love the green and black and white logo. Like, it's pretty crazy. This has to be my favorite WrestleManias of all time. Well, we don't know where WrestleMania Day is going to take place. We're in rumors that WrestleMania 37 this year might take place on April 11th instead of March 27th. Who knows? We all know it's going to be at Raymond James Stadium. And, you know, loophole behind the scenes, we're really out trying to get fans attendance a minute. Even if it's only going to be a 20% capacity in that stadium. It's about maybe less than 15,000, which is still good. That is something for fans to come in person and witness what could be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. So we'll sign on WrestleMania 37. It'll be live on WWE Network, of course. All the guys listen to this bonus episode of my podcast, and who knows, I might do another one today. If not, tomorrow, and definitely tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good day and be safe.